I need to get on that Jay-Z stimulus package.
I mean, he's investing in cannabis companies, so we can.
Get Beyonce on our first mixtape.
On our first mixtape? What are you talking about? What's our mixtape?
We'll be like the DJ Khaled of cannabis.
What does that mean?
That will just like release music, not really produce it, not really make any beats, not really do anything with the track except scream on it, and we'll just have the biggest features in the game.
Just by calling people, yeah. I mean, it's not like he's a liar. He's just a DJ.
Yeah.
A DJ is just somebody that spins the beats.
I don't hate on DJ Khaled at all. He doesn't try to be
anything more than he is.
He's just like, he's not a gangster. He's not this. He's not that. He's just a guy who puts very popular artists onto albums.
He's a popular Middle Eastern guy.
And he came up in, I think, the Miami radio scene, so at least he's legit.
Dude, legit. That's one thing I got from Rick Ross' book for sure is how legit DJ Khaled is. Because DJ Khaled came from the bottom, he was saying, like, when nobody would listen to him. But then he also said he was the guy who was, like, the gatekeeper in Miami for a while.
Yeah, he was
like, you weren't going to get on any spins if DJ Khaled ain't fuck with
99 jams or 103.5. But, yeah, I remember. He was like a legend on there. So, you ready to jump in?
Yeah.
So we got a very special episode today, and it's more going to be more of a podcast style episode because over the last week we have once again been banned from YouTube, and what better way to take the edge off of being banned constantly and having to worry about our entire catalog than trying the Cacti Agave Spiked Seltzer from Houston's very own, Missouri City's very own
Travis
Scott. So on today's episode, we're going to be drinking. I'm going to drink 3. I think we're all drinking 3.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So we got all
Maybe
3 flavors.
More.
I'm starting with the strawberry, and then I'll mix it up between the rest. But this is the Agave Spiked Seltzer Cacti, 7% in each. And I haven't tried them, so they dropped today.
And I'm excited for this episode. And we're also going to be, we've announced that we dropped our new Delta 8 flower. So I got a bowl here packed of our pecan pie strain. So we're going to be smoking on some of that pecan pie, sipping on some of this. We didn't film a whole bunch last week. I was doing a bunch of wedding festivities, and sometimes it's probably just good for us to relax a little bit. But we back now, so we got a few topics to talk about too.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I got the first sip of the strawberry flavored cacti, and it's nice
for 7%, dude. Too.
I don't have any faults on it. I like having a little bit of the taste of alcohol.
Right.
Sometimes, then it reminds me that I'm drinking.
Exactly.
Because I could sprint through seltzers. Like there's no tomorrow, but this is actually pretty nice. And I started with strawberry because I thought it'd be my least favorite. Pretty nicely done. 7% is strong. That's damn near an average IPA. It's damn near 2 in 1 because I think most seltzers are about 4.0, 4.5. So it's almost double.
Yeah. So the price hike is somewhat worth it because of how much more you're getting per can as well. Because we talked about like most of them are probably like $1.50 per can. These are like $2 per can. Which if you're trying to have a party full of these, that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
50 cents extra per can, but at the same time, it's not the worst thing in the world considering they're pretty strong. I drank one earlier. I sipped one earlier on an empty stomach, and it wasn't the best idea.
Where's my phone? Yeah, no, I mean the 7%'s no joke. First couple sips of the strawberry, it's a hit or two, and I'm not coming from the perspective as I know a lot of people most likely are as just huge Travis Scott fans, so they were just so excited to try it. I'm more of a huge seltzer fan. So this is the first seltzer that's been hyped.
Yeah.
So I was excited to try it on that end as well. So I'm not even trying to cap it. It's nice so far.
And I like seeing rappers and now starting to be athletes with like these diversified portfolios they have. It's cool to see because
Travis Scott might have the most diversified.
Of the young people for sure.
I mean, he's in everything, bro.
He's in everything. Like he's
down to your underwear, all the way to what you're eating and drinking.
He's already been like across the spectrum.
Yeah.
It took like Rick Ross, for example, or Jay-Z, like 20 years to get into. He learned from them.
Yeah.
He learned from those rappers that have the restaurants, have that. What can I do? Instead of having a restaurant, why don't I partner with one and make a ton of money off of it? He was the first one. Yeah. He's the first online concert I've seen.
I think,
in
yeah,
terms of like the Fortnite shit.
Yeah,
like
that
that
was
stuff's major.
game changer. I think he might be the greatest wave creator and then rider of all time. Because
Yeah.
he created his own wave. I don't want to discredit him for that, but most people will create their own wave and then kind of fizzle out. Like, it'll crash. But his wave's been so big, it's just like never-ending tsunami.
It's what I said, bro.
Yeah.
Don't put out Astroworld 2 yet.
Yeah.
Ride the wave for as long as possible.
Yeah. No,
As
that's-
long as possible. And how he
working.
even came up with this cactus stuff in general. I was talking to Nicole about that today. I was like, does he just love cacti? But she said she learned from a story, and he took a trip down to Mexico, and he shot down there. And I'm guessing he had some peyote or something. But evidently in the video he was in, he was just like vibing in the area he was in. It was just surrounded by cacti. Remember we were in Phoenix, and like everywhere you went, you're just like surrounded by
Yeah.
cacti. I think that just like spoke to him or something, and that's just this brand emerged from that. Which if that's just the story, I guess it's cool. But
yeah, I mean, I guess he
it's just so random, and it came from nowhere.
Yeah, it is. He could have been on a nice peyote trip.
That's
or
what I'm
something,
thinking.
You know, like something.
But he said he was in Mexico, so I'm guessing he might have had some.
Yeah, some peyote or something special might have been involved in there. But
It's so random, but at the same time, so easy to market. What artist can't draw cacti?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
I
it's
agree.
so easy to brand.
I'm trying to find this article that I had just pulled up. But what we're looking to talk about here is a representative in Tennessee came out and said that they can't legalize marijuana because if you do, it will kill your kids. So I'm trying to find the exact article to get it more accurate, but it's kind of difficult to find, to be honest. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's Nebraska, actually, not Tennessee. So I was mistaken upon the place. So shout out Tennessee, didn't mean to slander you. But Nebraska Governor Ricketts, what a name. If you legalize marijuana, you're going to kill your kids. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I would really ask him how he feels about alcohol
Yeah, that's fair.
and his state having legal alcohol and what his reasoning is for saying that it'll kill your kids.
Yeah, I mean, I need some empirical evidence, but I'm going to go a little bit against the grain here, and I'm actually going to agree with them.
Okay.
And I'm going to agree because
I'll listen.
there's this, I don't like to talk about it much because it was quite traumatic. But one day I was, minding my own business, sitting on my balcony. I used to live on the first floor, so there was always I lived next to a park, always families walking by and shit. I'm sitting on my balcony, spark my blunt, and as soon as I take a few hits, there's a family walking by.
Yeah.
And the child that was with his mother, got caught.
You know when you leave the smoke in there for a while?
It gets
nasty.
dense. Yeah.
That's disgusting.
So there I was, sitting on my back patio, minding my own business, sparking my own blunt.
Ugh.
Sparked it up, took a few pulls, family walks by, holding hands, skipping through a field of beautiful dandelions. But little did I know that my sparking of the blunt was going to lead to the children spontaneously combusting.
Oh, at the time that
Yeah.
like immediately or
No,
a couple
it
hits
was
later?
A couple hits later. I took two
At
or
least
three
you got
hits.
a couple hits in.
Yeah, I got a couple hits. It was, that chronic and, the good shit. Took a few pulls, and then I'm looking at the
gas.
kids, and all of a sudden they just spontaneously combusted. So next thing you know, I'm sitting on my patio, and these little kids are just running around on fire because my marijuana killed them.
It's not your fault.
It's probably not
They
my
shouldn't have
fault.
been walking by while you were smoking.
Yeah, exactly. And in short, I guess that is what the Tennessee lawmaker meant.
Nebraska.
Fuck,
He's a cornhusker, bro.
Why do I want to hate on Tennessee?
Why do you want to
so
hate
bad?
on Tennessee
I
so
actually
damn
heard
bad,
Tennessee is
bro?
awesome.
Tennessee's a cool place.
Yeah, fuck. So Nebraska.
The kids don't die there, only in Nebraska. You were in Nebraska, and the story is the part that you missed.
I was passing through. But yeah, no, I think obviously that story is complete bullshit. And if you even for a second believed it, come on. But marijuana has never killed a child. Alcohol has, as we are casually sipping. I almost died from alcohol poisoning when I was a child.
Really?
I mean, technically I was 16, but yeah.
But looking back, that's child.
Yeah. I mean, the decision making that led to me to be where I was
Pretty childish.
is childish.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes sense. And to be so factually inaccurate is just, it should be illegal to be in a position of power and be a moron.
They should mute them like they be doing everybody on like social media and shit.
Yeah, anything.
You know, like they say now, unfactual shit has to be muted on social media, which is obviously a very, very slippery and scary slope.
Very.
But that's the type of shit that I want muted.
No, 100%.
If we're gonna mute some shit, mute a guy saying that marijuana kills people, please.
Kills kids.
Kills kids.
Not just people. Like, if you legalize marijuana, it will kill your children. It's like, wait, what? Let me see if there's any. Oh, okay.
But honestly, with the opening up of the state, it has shown me that a lot of people are starting to not listen to lawmakers as much, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, well, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. Keep wearing your mask. You know, whether you need to or not, you can put that debate up for air. But nobody's listening to that dude, listening to Greg, a.k.a. Hot Wheels, and being like, that's who we should take all of our medical advice from anymore.
With the advent of technology, like, nobody believes
it used to be
anymore.
like, all right, that dude knows everything.
Okay, so just to give
he must.
Senor Ricketts his fair due, he was referring to a USA Today study, 2 studies, that found an increase in marijuana use among teens who died by suicides in states that had legalized the drug. In his remarks Wednesday, Ricketts cited 2 cases where young men who died by suicide had eaten cannabis edibles. I believe it. I hate to say it. I can see it. I've seen multiple people think they were going to die after eating edibles.
I wonder if that kid was in a good place mentally pre-edibles.
No, yeah, that's really what it becomes.
Yeah. Was it the edibles that took him over the top, or was it the fact that he was unstable mentally at the jump?
And was it an interaction with other medications?
And was it a child?
That just says
because I do agree in general that children should not be consuming like high-level THC marijuana.
Unless it's for medical purposes.
And that's never like high-level. It's always like 1-to-1 usually for kids and stuff, you know?
They shouldn't be just ripping dabs out of the bong when you're 8.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can agree that kids probably shouldn't be lighting up joints and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But are there cannabis products that can help children as well? Absolutely. But am I sitting here advocating for kids getting drunk or high or anything like that? Absolutely not.
Yeah, and fuck. Okay, so a couple people have eaten edibles and committed suicide thereafter. So the conclusion drawn from that is, if we legalize it, we will kill your kids.
Everybody.
It makes no sense. It's so disingenuous. It's like, if you're going to present the study, you can at least frame it from the frame of, there is this risk that somewhat exists. So how can we best manage it?
Yeah, well, even if you feel like it needs to be expanded on studying, how do we get this study out, or how do we look into this potential risk? Not, this will happen.
Your kid's
because
dead.
2 people, your kid's dead.
The ink dries on the paper.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all dead. It's like the opposite. There's always those kids movies where like they yell at their parents, "I wish you didn't exist," and then they wake up the next day and no parents exist. I think that was like a Rugrats episode or some shit. There's some
Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron
Movie. I watched it a few months ago. That's why I know.
So that's like the age old thing, where it's gonna be the opposite. The adults legalize marijuana, and all the kids are just gonna disappear. Shit, that might not be a bad thing for global warming. For global warming purposes, we'll save the earth.
What? How will we save the earth by getting rid of kids?
I don't know. I'm not the expert in it. I just say shit on YouTube.
Thought we were just supposed to put them in the backyard. I thought that's where we had concluded that one episode. Put those bastards in the backyard.
I mean, I would stand by that. If my kid has too much energy, I'm putting him in the backyard
with nothing.
No, I'm gonna
just like the people that live on a 1/4 acre lot, nothing in their backyard. Just put the kid in the backyard.
Bro, even funnier than that. I tried to take a picture of this, but it just wasn't working out. So same podcast we were talking about. Remember, it was Kids on Leashes with Darion.
Yeah.
So I'm at Herman Park the other day, walking around. A kid with a leash around his neck. Around his neck.
A choker on.
Not even like, usually they got the chest strap.
Right. Usually it's a backpack.
Yeah.
Usually the ones I've seen, it's like a teddy bear backpack with the leash coming out the back of that
it
bitch.
was around his neck, and he was like trying to pull away from the grandmother, and me and Rich are dying laughing. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. We're sitting on the rocks watching the kid walk by, and he's like trying to pull away, and it keeps like tugging on his neck a little bit. And the grandma turns to the kid and goes, I could take it off. And he's like, no, Grandma, I like it. I was like,
damn.
That took a weird turn.
Treat a kid like an animal he thinks he's one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck? I thought the whole time, I was like, damn, I feel bad for that kid. Having to walk with a leash. Yeah.
All right.
Just choked on the carbonation. Having to watch this kid walk around with a leash on his neck. And it's not like he was wearing a collar. It was just wrapped around. So when you pull, it gets tighter. And he would keep pulling. So I was like, this kid's going to get choked out. But turns out he wanted it on. The grandma was like, I'll take it off. He's like, no, grandma.
Keep that shit on.
I was like, what the fuck? How many times has this kid been on a leash that he's only comfortable outdoors on a leash? It's weird, man. It's weird. If you keep your kids on a leash, I hope it's at least with the chest strap. Don't wrap it around his neck. Or just don't keep your kid on a leash. I understand that sometimes it's necessary, but I don't fuck with it. What's your opinion on the kids on leashes? You're gonna keep? Let's say you got 2 kids. You're at a theme park, Six Flags, about to ride the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Son or daughter on a leash?
No.
Yeah, no way. Me either.
Nah, if my kids can't control themselves, they can't leave the house.
You're not just gonna put.
That's really what it's gonna be. Like, what is gonna stay home? No, for real. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, if my kids can't control themselves and they can't learn, their ass is going to stay at home. I'm not going to put them on a leash. You could just stay at home.
I agree. And I respect my parents so much more for actively taking. I came from a family of, I have 3 brothers, but at one point it was 5 boys living in the house. And they would take us out all the time and we would cause hell. But we would get it on the way back. Or we'd escape to the bathroom and get our ass whooped in the middle of a TGI Fridays public restroom.
Yeah, no, I've got my ass whooped. My mom has put up the fucking windshield cover before and whooped my ass in the front seat of the car, bro. Yeah. Like I wasn't getting away. Like, and that was in situations to where we couldn't go home. Yeah. Like we were at like church or some event at church to where we couldn't just dip.
Oh, so you're getting your ass whooped at church?
Oh, for sure. So I was getting in trouble everywhere. If I wasn't engaged, I was going to get in trouble in that place because I was bored as hell. Like I was going to do something bad.
100%. That was school for me.
Yeah, me too. School, I was not going to stop talking. I wasn't listening to the teacher. None of that shit.
I would tell my teachers, like, look, you have 2 options here. I'm either going to cause mischief in your class all day, make your life a living hell, ruin the education for my fellow students, or I could sleep. The choice is yours. But either way, and I remember all my teachers let me sleep. There was one, Mr. Colgrove.
Most of my teachers let me sleep, too.
Mr. Colgrove, if you're watching this, shout out to you because you were right. I would never make it in English, even though I professionally speak English on a mic. But this man was dedicated.
What did he mean you'd never make it in English?
He was just like, you would, and he meant, like, what happened was, so he would, I would really debate my teachers, like, look, you're either going to let me sleep or I'm going to fuck around in class. I'm not going to listen either way because I was a spoiled athlete who was way overprivileged in my current position as a high school youth, and I didn't know how to handle it. Too much power. So
I did.
So I would
haven't always accomplished anything yet.
Yeah, no. So my soccer team ran the school because we were national champs and private school, a whole bunch of bullshit that didn't mean anything in the long run. But so he would always wake me up, always. And to his defense, he was just trying to be a good teacher.
Yeah.
But I don't care about what Shakespeare has to say. I don't care about what the great Gatsby was partying and what he was doing and all this shit. So I remember one time we got into a whole debate. He woke me up like the 3rd time in the same day. I only had 45-minute classes, so 3 times, you're fucking up my sleep. I was like, Mr. Colgrove, there's 2 options. I'm either going to leave right now or you're going to let me sleep. He's like, you could leave the class. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Got up, started packing my shit. I remember one of my boys, Mikey, sitting right behind me. He's like, bro, don't do it, man. You're going to get suspended. I was like, nah, fuck this. So as I'm packing up all my shit, the teacher's like, I'm just trying to look out for what's good. And now that I'm telling the story out loud, I might have been the bad guy.
Might.
He was really just...
Obviously, he's just a teacher that's just like, bro, please wake up because you're going to fail the test if you're asleep.
No, I failed the class.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm sure you've sealed your fate by getting up in the middle of the class and leaving.
Yeah, the whole debate. And he said something. It was something like, you're never going to be a successful... It was some position within writing, maybe writer or something. My memory's barely... This was in 10th grade, so it's more decade plus. So he said something along the lines of, I was never going to be something in English. And I was like, is anybody anything in English? And I just left the class.
Yeah.
And that was the day that I sealed my fate as getting an F. So I'd have to take night school for the whole summer. And I still had 2 semesters left of that class. And
what do you mean 2 semesters left of that class?
It was, it was like quarterly. So we would have like fucking rotation of classes. Like we would take 9 classes at once, and then we'd rotate into another 9 in the second semester. And this was in the second quarter. So I had a whole another quarter left. essentially, which is like, what, 3 months or whatever it is. And I had failed already. So I was like, what is the point of me staying awake?
Yeah.
But the man would still wake me
How
up.
could you have already failed?
Because I got an F on the first semester. You need to average a C. So I would have needed to get an A. And could I have done it? Yeah. But was I going to do it? No. So I had resigned to the fact that I was going to fail and I was going to take night school. That was my strategy. And
how'd you get to play soccer?
bro, I had the system, bro. So I had 7
if you
classes.
failed, so it was the average GPA
Average
thing.
GPA, yeah. I kept it right
Because
at
in
2.5.
Texas, it's not like that.
Yeah, it was
In
average.
Texas, you can't fail a class.
No, I think it was 2.0 or above. Yeah, 2.0.
In Texas, it's not like that at all. And then you would have been fucked today, too, because modern day athletes, I think they raised it up to like, dude, it's like a 2.55 now or something.
Plot twist. I got into every single college I applied to.
That's your time. But I'm saying the minimum of NCAA.
It's rigged, bro. I was in a private school. That shit. I should
feel
not
you.
have gotten into any of the schools I got into.
Even with your GPA?
Even with my GPA. I got
What
into
was your GPA?
graduating. Had to be just at a 2.5.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying today, if your school had even given you that, NCAA would not have allowed you to play.
Yeah. No, I didn't end up playing, but I got
No, I'm just saying, like, off top.
Yeah. No, so I mean, that's when I realized.
I remember
this is
kids
all a
were
bunch of
sick.
bullshit.
It was my, like, senior year that they moved it up to that. Like a
that's
2.75 or something. It was like something that was
good
like,
GPA.
but it was something that was like,
I'm pretty
damn,
sure-
these kids actually got to be kind of smart.
I'm pretty sure mine was a 2.0, not even 2.5. So I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no, yeah, you've been fucked. I think it was a 2.5 they moved it up to. They moved it up from a 2.0 to a 2.5 so you had to play in college.
Yeah, and I mean the system. So this would be how. I mean, all of my report cards were. I
Yeah,
had
you weren't doing shit in high school.
nothing, bro.
Dude, I had like a 3.8 in high school.
Nothing, bro. It's a shame. It's a shame. But luckily, I readjusted. I found a good woman, and I graduated college cum laude. But I don't know how. But so yeah, nothing was done in high school for me. But the way my classes were set up was I had. Think about this, bro. I had a teacher. I'm not going to say her name because this could cost her job. I was so cool with her that on test days, I would sit at her desk and she would give me the answer key and tell me how many to get wrong.
Damn, yeah, I know. At my school, it was rigged like that
And
for football players.
I got snitched on, bro.
Yeah, you
I
told
mean,
me.
Reasonably.
You told me, yeah.
If I was vice versa, if I was a hardworking
You have to
student,
say some shit,
getting
too.
a C,
Yeah.
I might be pretty pissed too.
Yeah.
But God, so that's how I made it. Like I had some teachers that would hook me up, and then I would have 2 electives, weightlifting, and I had art right next to that glass blowing room. So I would just sit watch glass blowing, and then
And you went to an actual difficult kind of school, too.
yeah, it was like it's I think still to this day like the #1 school in South Florida for
You did opposite of what I did. For real. So, like, I went to really good schools at a young age to where on the back end, when I went to public school, I had taken the public school classes I took as a junior and senior, bro, and legitimately the 6th grade. For real, bro.
I believe
like,
it.
so I'm sitting in public school, like, kids complain about this.
Yeah.
You know, like,
These
I'm
kids
sitting
are
here.
dumb as shit.
But what the fuck?
I was one of those
I'm in there
kids.
literally having a good time. Like, legitimately, like, people, like, complaining about school. I took trig in 8th grade.
Oh God,
You know what I'm saying?
I never took trig.
Exactly. So
All
to
through
where
college.
to where when I relearned it, I think in college again. I think I relearned a class I took in 8th grade as a sophomore in college.
God.
So like that school, those younger schools that I went to had really set me up for later to where I was actually having a good time in school because like I was like I went in a private school. I think I failed a science class. I retook that class in public school, summer school or whatever. I think I got a 99. God. You know what I'm saying? Like
I did 1 year of public
legit
school,
had
but
fun.
I don't even remember what my grades were, to be honest. It's my freshman year. I don't remember anything about it other than the parties that we used to do. But I mean, public school and private school is a completely different game.
It's a
But
completely different game.
I will say this agave spiked lime,
Uh-huh.
of the lime flavors that we've tried, probably close to the bottom of the barrel.
Not great.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
So I would definitely, surprisingly,
That agave only works with certain flavors,
Yeah.
I feel like.
maybe tropical
But
more.
still it's at the 7%.
No, I'm not. Yeah, it's definitely not bad. And
Yeah.
considering that, I'm just saying purely flavor would
Purely
be bottom of the
flavor, I
barrel. But
agree.
considering the 7%.
Same size,
yeah.
double the alcohol content.
Yeah,
Like
it definitely has some leeway. There's still barely any sugar in it. Like it's still it's executed perfectly. I just don't enjoy the lime that much, I would say. But I'm still gonna power it down. So shout out cacti lime. I would say the strawberry a little better, and we got. I think pineapple would go good with the agave as well. think anything that goes good with tequila,
Uh-huh.
even though lime does go good with tequila.
Yeah, perfectly,
Margaritas.
actually.
Yeah, so I'm surprised. I'm surprised they missed the mark a bit on this one.
Dude, I was hanging out with a physical therapist last week, and he was telling me if I'm eating red meat, my knees will feel better, bro. I never knew that.
Yeah, it's
You're telling me, I forgot what it's called, but
gout?
that shit, no. That's in your, like, your extremities.
Toes and shit,
But
yeah.
there's a way, like, whatever, something that produces something that produces something in your joints that, like, makes it, like, more painful or whatever.
So you going paleo?
So, dude, I haven't eaten red meat
Mediterranean?
since.
No, I mean it's possible.
And I'm trying to get meat down to, I'm really trying to get down to one meat meal a day.
Yeah,
And I have. Like yesterday I didn't because I had more, but I'm trying to I don't want to go completely vegan or anything like that, but definitely try to, because he was even telling me about like how just stuff that I'd never even really paid attention to with food-wise, because
is he vegan or anything?
he's like 80%.
Okay, so that's probably the best way to do it, to be honest.
He's like 80% vegan, to where he eats, like, he's like, I'll have a burger like once a month type shit. But he's like 80% of his meals don't have meat. Like 85% of his meals don't have any meat in it, or dairy, or anything like that. And then the occasional splurge meals type shit. And I don't know how far I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna venture into like almost no red meat, which sucks because that gets you rid of a lot. But if it makes my knees feel better, he's like, just try it 3-4 weeks.
No point in not. I did
There's no
veganism
point in
for
not.
2 years, and your body gets used to it.
Yeah.
Now I think about doing veganism, and I'm like, how the fuck
I feel so much
did I
better,
do
bro.
that? Yeah.
Not having that red meat. I realized I was always thinking it was like the fries and shit that were like making my stomach feel that heavy ass feeling or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really the red meat. I had fries the other day, no red meat, and I felt great.
Yeah, and I mean, we both have, I guess, hyper athletic bodies, and fries are essentially just carbs, and our bodies burn through carbs and sugars like crazy, or else we'd both probably be obese.
I've been feeling really good about I've been feeling really good since I stopped eating the red meat. It's only been like 5 days.
What's your source of protein? Fish and chicken, or fish and turkey, or what?
I haven't figured that out yet. I have just not been eating that much. I don't know what my source of protein is, though.
Do you fuck with fish?
Yeah.
That's probably be the best option.
Yeah.
And then what else? There's chicken, but chicken is also a low quality meat in general. Like, just chicken is like the most factory farm. Same thing with a lot of fish.
I also tried my first like Impossible Burger, and it's actually not that bad.
Not that bad. Not that bad.
Not that bad at all.
If you're not comparing it to a regular burger.
But still, even if you are comparing it to a regular burger, it's still. And if you don't mind sauce, if you like sauces, if you don't like sauces, I bet the taste really comes through. Yeah. But if you like just dunk it in ketchup, like I do any normal burger anyway, I honestly didn't taste the difference like an unbelievable amount.
It depends. Like if you're comparing, like let's say a Burger King Whopper to like an Impossible Burger, I would say it's similar. But if you're talking like an Adair burger compared to the vegan burger, then there's a difference.
Because they have them. They have the Impossible Burgers at Burger King,
Yeah,
evidently. My cousin, he likes them, but I haven't tried them from there before.
I haven't either.
He said it tastes like a Whopper, but I don't know.
I can see why, because the Whoppers are this thin. Like you can mimic the flavors a bit. When you're getting into like the good quality Buffalo burgers,
I eat Buffalo burger, exactly.
Those are the ones that are tough to mimic and I guess get over as something that you're going to want to fiend for. But I mean, it's possible, bro. I always recommend experimenting with diets, because one thing I know is the only thing that's for sure is that what we're eating now is not what we're supposed to be eating.
Yeah.
And I mean, and one I guess diet, I've tried all the diet trends, where I did keto, I did vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian. I just did them all. That was what I did in college. I didn't really go to class, even though I graduated cum laude, just because I'm a natural genius, some would say.
I'm dead.
But yeah, I tried all the diets. So the one that worked best for me, I would say, in the short term, in the first 3 to 4 weeks, was veganism. But it wears on your body. Yeah. Eventually, you're like, fuck, I need something like, I don't want to have to eat an entire giant bowl of salad.
You have to eat so much.
Yeah, like I would eat out of these tin salad bowls like that are this big, and I'll just be 20 minutes just eating nonstop, not enjoying any flavor, just getting through it. And then and I mean, the foods, there is vegan foods that are amazing. Don't get me wrong. I live right next to a food truck by Turkey Leg Hut that the vegan food I've eaten.
What's it called? Sauce Pit? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fire.
It's nice? I haven't been yet.
Yeah, it's vegan. And I didn't even know it was vegan when I was waiting in line.
I knew it was, because I mean, just I looked up some vegan options just one day just because I was curious.
Yeah, it's pretty fire, and there's always a solid line out there, so it's at least being successful, but it doesn't seem to be the answer because especially when I was traveling and active, my body would get very low energy for sustained periods of time, and it was that I feel like. Let's say, your friend does it 85% of the time if you're eating vegetables, clean foods all the time, then like you introduce a high quality meat every now and then, that's got to be the best balance.
Because he said like humans, the way that we're made, a lot of these meats are supposed to be like delicacies.
Yeah.
Like something that we don't get all the time. Because even if you think about killing a buffalo, harvesting a buffalo, keeping it, stuff like that, like
there was
some Native American terms. So in the winter, you could pack it in the snow with salt and then keep it, but still, you weren't having it every day.
Yeah, it's beef jerky, and like the first day you'll get a fillet, and then after that, like you're getting jerky.
It was a rare thing. So with that being said, in chickens as well, like all that stuff, like you were finding these birds randomly, killing it and then eating it. It wasn't like something that you got all the time. But the thing that sustained these humans were the things they found in the wild. Like
carbs, complex sugars, fruits,
things that
they
could carry as well that wouldn't go bad.
Yeah.
So like when he put it in those terms, I was like, damn, yeah, I am. Because I've been eating red meat like every day for a minute, honestly.
Oh, bro,
like real shit. Like I've been eating red meat every day, I wouldn't even say it's horrible because I eat like high quality meats too. It's not even like I'm going to McDonald's and calling that even red meat.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, like too much of anything is just never good.
Yeah.
In reality.
I'm thinking, and that's part of the allure. I think I brought this up on one of our podcasts. I don't know how long ago. I mean, we do this a lot, but I want to kill some shit and eat it. Like hunt it and eat it. And the only reason why is because it gives me a whole year's worth of meat, and it's the cleanest meat ever.
My uncle said he just killed a deer and gave away almost all of it. He's like, it's a storage issue.
Yeah.
He's like, I literally gave away like all of it.
Yeah, you need multiple freezers. Like
just
freezers, like the giant tub ones.
Exactly. Like no shelves, none of that shit.
Yeah, I remember, and I realized this long ago too. One of my best friend's cousins, who was also his next door neighbor, was an avid hunter. So whenever he'd kill some shit, he'd be on some giveaway. Like, oh, I only have 2 freezers. I can't store a fucking 5,000-pound moose.
Yeah.
He'd be always on some shit. So he'd always give me meat. I had boar, deer, moose, all sorts of different meats. And every time I would eat them, either at his type of barbecue, there's a different feel to it. Like it's almost like a whole different food. It doesn't sit as heavy in your stomach. It fills you up quicker.
The way it's processed.
Yeah, like it doesn't have any weird hormones and all this weird shit.
You can taste it. Like I've really heard that specifically African people I know with milk. They say when they're back home, their body responds to milk so well. Like, there's no issues. Like, there's none of that lactose intolerant problems that Americans have and shit like that. They're like, the milk is so clean because they're pretty much drinking it out the titty that, like, it's no issues like we have with our milk here. Our milk here makes, like, African people that I know that spend time in Africa, come back here, they say if you have dairy and milk when you get back here, you become violently ill.
I knew a whole lot of people. I actually...
Like, internationals?
No, not even internationals.
Okay.
Just, I mean, I guess internationals, but not first. Like their parents came here.
Okay.
And they were all lactose intolerant.
Yeah,
like all of them. And I'm thinking of
dude. All humans are.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like at a certain age, all humans are lactose intolerant.
Yeah, and I think the human body has an ability to adapt to anything. But to say that it's natural, to like drink milk from a cow, like it's just not.
Doesn't make sense. Or any other animal.
A cow's milk is supposed to take a cow from being 10 pounds to 300 pounds in like a week. Like that's not natural for humans. But I've also had, I said, I've tried all of the fucking diets. So Rish and I used to get milk fresh from the titty. You'd have to boil it and do it and like scoop this like fat layer off of it. To, like, process it ourselves essentially. And that shit would energize me, bro.
Yeah.
Way different than eating like a bowl of ice cream would now. But it's not sustainable in the sense of it's easier just to not drink milk.
100%.
Yeah, like I'd rather
just go through that whole process.
Like I don't need milk that bad.
Right.
I'll have cereal with almond milk.
It's really big in places where the water isn't safe. So it's a really good source of hydration. And you know it's from a safer source because the cow essentially like digest it for you, digest like that bad water for you because dangerous water kills people.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I think I watch a lot.
You
of
want
the
something
show.
to smoke, bro?
That's what I was about to say. Do you want to put that in a cone? I was looking for the
Yeah.
cones earlier, but I think the 7% hit me and I completely forgot.
That's good.
But fuck, what was I about to say? Oh, I've been watching a whole lot of Naked and Afraid, the show where people for
Never seen it.
no fucking reason.
Yeah.
But you know what it's about? Like,
They get naked in the wild, huh?
yeah, they just get naked and they drop them in the middle of Africa, Costa Rica, or wherever the fuck they feel like dropping them off that week. And I've
They
been watching
spend a week naked?
40 days, bro.
Naked?
Naked. In the wild.
Is that actually real?
I mean, it's 100% real, but the thing is, like, the threat of death is minimized because there's a production team there a lot.
For sure.
So, like, if you're really dying, they'll take you to, like, a medic tent and
I hope.
save your life.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the threat, you're actually naked out there. Like, there was a story of a woman who had gotten red ants in Africa or Costa Rica up her vagina and had to get them surgically removed one by one because they had died and just clamped onto there on the inside.
Damn.
And do you know what they do this for? $0.
What's the purpose?
It's like a survival rating.
What is that? Oh, like
they have some
earning thing.
like
a badge for a fucking Boy Scout.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is. No money, nothing.
Sounds about white.
100%.
Oh my God! I don't know anything that sounds more anti-black.
I just watched the season. I just finished the season.
I'm sure they've had a black person, but
not many. But they have.
I'm sure they
That's what I was
found.
about to say.
I'm sure they found some crazy.
Like there was a season where I think it was the one I just watched was 20 people total starting. One was black.
Yeah,
just one. And
they paid that one.
He made it all the way.
They paid him because they paid him. They paid him to have a black person on there.
Yeah, and he kind of low key thrived the whole time, like never in real danger. Almost got attacked by a shark, which is crazy. Yeah,
with his dick out.
With his dick out.
My God. Like that's the worst thing. Like I can't. Like it's so bad in real life to get attacked by anything or have any type of threat. Doing it with your dick out, yeah, it's like a whole different threat.
Yeah, so I watched the Naked and Afraid shit, and what they eat, I would say, is the closest to what humans would be supposed to eat. And what they eat is like they find fruits, and then every now and then they'll hunt a fish, and they'll split one fish between 5 people. And that's like a piece of protein that's one chew or some shit. So I think that would be, I guess, what's closest to what humans naturally ate before developing, like, I mean, I would say for a long time we've probably had very efficient hunting tactics.
For a long time?
Yeah.
For thousands of years.
Yeah, and I would say even at that, the animals are so intelligent that we probably would eat meat twice a week on a great week. You know, like we'd kill, or maybe with the beef jerky we'd eat it more, but at that you're eating a slice of jerky a day because that's all you have for the month.
Yeah,
you know. So I think that's really what it is.
And 100%, depending on what time period we're talking about, dealt with income levels. But are we talking about like nomads?
I'm just thinking the first humans to civilize.
Because I also think the abundance was like crazy different too. Like I legitimately think these animals were everywhere.
Yeah, you could be right about that too.
Like deer, buffalo, those animals were like the amount of numbers they say, even like gators in Florida or something like that, like the amount that were there had to have been, because of how humans have moved in and infiltrated, had to have been crazy. Because they'd be talking like millions of buffalo, bro.
Yeah. I mean, so it could have been. But even then, like the thing is, it would have had to
go find that bitch.
Yeah, you got to kill it. You got to carry
drag it back home. Yeah.
I mean, maybe get a wheelbarrow or something that you've created, but shit.
Still, no matter what, that bitch was heavy. To this day, getting it on a truck is still not an easy feat.
And when we think about how new refrigeration is in the terms of human history,
very
like
new.
What is that, like 60 years? Like in the 50s it was created, 40s maybe, 30s maybe, 20s. I don't know, but that's
definitely that was available to the household. Is very, very new. Or like the common hunter.
Being able to walk into a supermarket and be like, do I want the shoulder of the cow? Do I want the midsection?
Yeah.
Like that's damn near brand new in human history.
For sure.
So I think that's where because we have a natural tendency by nature, because the most of our history predicated on survival.
Yeah.
Now survival is so easy, so we've become predisposed to be too abundant. That's why
what
they
I was
boost
thinking
it.
about today, bro?
What's up?
Homeless people, for the most part, most of them haven't showered in like weeks, you know?
At least.
All natives would have had to look like homeless people.
Hmm?
Those people, all natives, not even natives, all people before like 1900 would have had to look and smell like homeless people.
Yeah.
Most people haven't showered in days.
Yeah, and I mean you could rinse off in the water and shit, but you're not
Still,
shaving.
Like, and a lot of
I'm
people
sure-
didn't live next to water for real,
Yeah,
like clean
you
water
can't.
source.
The predators all go there.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
You can't live right next to the water. You're gonna get killed.
Good point. Yeah. Exactly. So with that being said, people used to smell obscene.
Oh yeah. Oh, the smells of nature.
Obscene.
Yeah.
Bro.
Like think about it. Even the most domesticated nature animal of a dog will go up to another dog's shit and step in it and just be cool.
Eat it.
Yeah, or eat it.
Literally
Yeah,
eat it.
Yeah, and just be cool with it. So,
Yes.
And that's like the most domesticated of
Yeah.
wild animals, and they still don't give a shit about shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so curious to me, like, our movie portrayal of these old people, and even, like, I don't know, I just picture, like, not picture, but in the movies, even weird shit like blowjobs and going down on women and shit. I'm like, they wouldn't have been doing that. They haven't showered in weeks.
No, I think the
Like, they're
entire
doing, like-
culture was grimier. They just probably didn't give a shit, bro.
Well, I don't think they were doing it.
Maybe not.
I don't think-
there might not have been a lot of BJs in the Native American community, but
I think Native
In the
Americans, though,
1400s.
I think Native Americans living with that least amount of clothing, and they actually would go out to the water, get in the water. I think they were much cleaner because Native Americans have written about how disgusting Europeans were because of how Europeans dressed. They dressed layered up, but still didn't shower just as long.
I'm not a history expert, but I do remember. I think there was a plague started in the UK from people shitting in the street.
Well, people
and
were
leaving it there.
People were disgusting,
Yeah.
bro. Because you also have to think about, so like when they brought slaves over on ships, the slaves are also in horrible conditions. There's no showers on those ships.
Oh yeah,
Nobody showered in weeks.
yeah.
Everybody's absolutely and you can't get in the water because you can't get in the water, then get back up into the ship.
Yeah.
So that means like people are disgusting when they touch down in America.
I would say the nature of human beings in general, because also a brand new invention is running water, let alone heated running water.
Yeah.
So I think just in general, we've become, within the last, let's say, 200 years, way more clean than any human has ever been at any point in history. Like, I'm sure women didn't shave their legs and shit.
Come on, that's crazy.
Let alone their coochies.
Anywhere.
Let alone their booty holes.
Bro, no, I swear that actually started in like the 80s though. Like that's actually like crazy recent. Because remember
The
they had that
coochie?
conversation? Yes.
Yeah,
Remember
very
they had that
recent.
conversation about that in what's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where he steals from people?
Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. He
I've
talks
honestly,
about
I've never made it through the whole thing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
But they talk about how like in the 80s and 90s that's when it started. They actually like specifically hit on that.
And
There's a spider on this rolling tray. Fuck.
for real?
Yeah.
Poisonous?
Hope not.
Eat it. We're talking about naked and afraid and pure protein, bro. But yeah, there's the cleanliness of humans, I would say, is a generally new thing as well.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
probably a grimy,
Bro, it was
species.
disgusting. But you have to think about
like you're smashing a girl that hasn't showered in a month and probably just had another kid.
and has never heard about shampoo. Never
It's not
heard
a
about.
thing.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, maybe
period stopping
we're
and stuff like that.
underestimating.
No, I'm not.
No,
We're
not period. Not. I mean, they had no.
We're not underestimating any of that shit.
You don't think like maybe they found some, let's
No,
say,
they were
lavender plants, and they would go into the river and rub themselves down in some lavender, and just come out to smell a little clean?
How many people actually live next to rivers?
Not many. And even at that, I'm talking maybe once a week.
Exactly, once a week.
Definitely not multiple times a day. 'cause
But
it's
that's
not
when
worth
sex
the
was
risk.
really like having a child. It was less like, and that's also when like
There's no sex for pleasure.
you have to. The worst, tons. Hello, whorehouses. Whorehouses is like the original job. There were so many whorehouses. All those old shows. That's the one thing that's represented as whorehouses, but not how horrible they smell. I read that book, Pimp, bro. He said the two nastiest things he's ever smelled in his entire life And his entire life was a prison in Mississippi in which they made them shit in buckets and live in it with it without taking it out for multiple days and shit like that. In whores.
I believe it.
In his car.
And
he
I
said
mean,
the smell of whores in his car.
I don't know what comedian it was. I've watched a whole bunch of stand-up comedy. I don't know if I was live or, but I remember seeing a comedian talk about how the only reason everybody enjoys, or most people enjoy porn, is because they don't have to smell it.
Yes. What's his name? The Australian guy we were just talking about.
Jim Jeffries?
Jim Jeffries.
Is that his thing?
Yes, he said he had a whole entire rant about anal.
That must have been what it was.
And he was like, anal is so cool in the movies because you don't have to smell it. You know? He's like, it's all cool watching.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of, yeah.
Talking about, like, looking at people go in and out of ass or whatever until you actually have to sit face to face with it.
And I think he describes the whole process of what it actually ends up being like, oh, that hurts. Oh.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's never like you see in porn.
He's like, there's this idea of porn. It's called ass to mouth. She takes the dick out of her ass, puts it in her mouth, and says, "Oh my goodness, I love the taste of my own ass." Like that was like the joke he told in the stand-up.
That's definitely
and that shit is hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious.
And he's spot on with that because 100%. That's like the absolute truth. Like,
it ruined porn for me for a while. So I'm like, shit, I think I'm getting whiffs through the screen. He's right. God damn it, Jim.
No, if you've seen something like that and never thought about what is wrong with these people, then you have a different. You know what I'm saying? Because there's stuff that's happening. Yes, there's stuff that's happening in there. It's like, oh no, I'm not crazy at all.
And if you're going to get into the porn industry, why would you go the least profitable route, which is like mainstream Pornhub.com?
I don't understand it.
Like, create an OnlyFans with your boyfriend and make monthly money.
A Pornhub now, I guess you can too.
Yeah, or something. But to go like the mainstream route and only make like $500
and be contracted by these mainstream companies, like what? It's like music.
No, I'm trying to empower all women, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta create your own porn business. Be your own business.
Own your coochie. Own the rights. Own the rights to your coochie final.
You decide.
Your coochie masters.
Yeah, exactly.
Own the rights to your coochie masters.
So now I've moved on to the pineapple. As you can see, I am sprinting through these. They call me the Usain Bolt of seltzers.
Do they? But, I rode in. Sorry, off topic.
I
rode in an Uber.
Just jump into this.
Okay, my bad.
This quick taste note because that's all we're gonna bring. No, you good. So the pineapple flavor is
I've been drinking.
I would say I think it's delicious. I guess I'll do my rating at the end, but pineapple definitely on point. As suspected, it goes very well with the agave, and I would say so far top two, I got strawberry, pineapple. So what are you thinking? You hopped into an Uber?
Yeah, and there was a Jamaican guy.
Today?
Talking about Usain Bolt. This is yesterday. It was a Jamaican guy, and he came to America to run track here for Prairie View. And I was like, dude, this dude must be fast as fuck. He said he got like 5th in nationals as a freshman. I don't know. He had a cool accent, so I asked him if he's from Jamaica. Then we had like a long conversation about Bob Marley and shit like that. They sent him from North Loop to pick me up south of Reliant. Like, what the fuck is Uber doing, bro?
Yeah, I have no idea.
It took him 20 minutes to get to me.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Like, there was nobody. It was sprinkling outside, like kind of raining.
NRG,
so maybe,
right?
Yeah, NRG. Sorry.
God. Nah, I was thinking of like
where we go pick up the grams.
Yeah.
I was literally next door to that, and they sent somebody from the Heights.
What the fuck? Yeah, Uber must be struggling. But low key.
Lyft did the same thing though.
I've had some
usually doesn't happen like that.
I would say Uber conversations with the driver are underrated.
Often, bro.
Yeah, people hate on them constantly. Like, I don't hate on them. The way I see it is you're getting into somebody's vehicle and trusting them with your life, especially if you're getting on the highway.
You can't have a conversation.
Yeah, if you're like, I want to see what this guy's about. If he starts coming at me on some crazy conspiracy shit,
shut this shit down.
Yeah, I might need to. Yo, you're getting on the highway. I need to pop off real quick.
Exactly.
Bro. I don't want to die, but
I'm gonna cut this trip off short.
Like, I've met some very cool Uber drivers. Like, I remember a couple of times, especially when I'm drunk, because I'm more friendly.
Yeah,
but I met some very cool Uber drivers while drunk.
I talk to people sober, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like, I asked him, I was like, you from Jamaica, bro? And he was. And there's an ashtray there, too, if you want to grab that one. I don't know. But no, it was I be asking people where they're from. I don't think that that's an offensive thing to do. Some people are like, don't ask people where they're from. Like, why? They're clearly not from America. What's wrong with asking somebody where they're from when they're not from America? If that person then answers, you know, some internationals, they've moved from somewhere else in the U.S. and they hit you with the state. Yeah. Mike told me, Mike, from Chicago. You know, I'm like, bro, you're not from Chicago. I asked you where you're originally from. Maybe, and at that point, I just stopped. I didn't ask him past that where he was from. You know what I'm saying? Because if he wants to try to pass off the fact that he's from Chirac to me, that's his prerogative. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, I know that that's not the full truth.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, Mike is actually a mutual friend that has the heaviest of Vietnamese accents. So
for sure,
definitely not from Chicago.
Heavy Vietnamese accent. Clearly looks Vietnamese. To where I'm just like, bro, where are you actually from?
No, I feel that. But I also think that goes, I didn't really, I guess being born and kind of spoiled in the American lifestyle, I never really realized how much other countries value or want to be known as an American. Like when I went to Germany,
a lot of value in that, for sure.
Like when I went to Germany for the first time and I told people I was from America, they would lose their fucking mind. And then when I tell them I'm from Florida, then I tell them I'm from close to Miami, and they would go crazy. And I'm like, holy shit, these people, like, they think it's something that it's actually not. Like, that's for sure. Like, they're like, oh, South Beach, you just go there, and there's just women everywhere. I'm like,
that's true, though.
If you have $10 million, to me, it's like, oh, unattainable.
But I don't know, bro, because, like...
But in comparison to them, where they're coming from, that is what it's true.
Like. That is what it is.
Yeah. But they also think, like, these women are just fiending for all of the men.
Because it's kind of like college, in my opinion. Like, a lot of people think, like, all college, you can just get with any college girl, so like that. Like, there's an abundance of that in college, but that doesn't mean that it's not. One, it doesn't mean that it's unavailable, but it doesn't also mean that it's vastly available to everybody. But it's still there.
That's true.
To where they're at, it might not even be possible. Like, when I worked with that FedEx guy, and I would always ride around with bro. And he's from the Middle East, and he became like a U.S. citizen through the military. And he pretty much felt cheated because when he got here, he realized girls had on, like, ass shorts and shit. And he said, like, when he married his wife, it was, like, arranged, never seen anything but her eyes before, like, where he was from and shit. And he felt cheated, for real. You know, really, he just saw a fat ass in the street one day and just didn't know how to contain himself, bro. He didn't understand that, like, that was an option out in the world. So now when his mind expanded to seeing, like, free women, essentially, you know, like, he didn't know what to do. And so his world, and to us, a girl in some ass shorts is like, we go to Galleria, we go see 10,000 right now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh my God. But exactly closer to that than this dude talking like he's fiending for every single girl in shorts.
No, and I've actually had a similar experience with I guess I don't want to get too specific. Not that this would ever make it anywhere, but it's better to be safe than sorry. But I had people that I knew from Tunisia, older people, 30s, married, came over here and were in arranged marriages as well and had the exact same reaction. They're like, damn, I got hoed.
Exactly, because you don't know until
but also
you don't know what you don't know.
It was like a come around effect. So I remember when he first I guess became a part of my life, you could say.
Yeah.
He thought it was like amazing. He's like, oh my God, there's women everywhere. They talk to me, they're nice. They don't like do whatever. Like I don't know. He was like obsessed with American women,
right?
And then his family was still in Tunisia, and he got into like 2 American relationships. I guess cheating on his wife or whatever. I mean, definitely cheating on his wife, but, and betraying his children. But you know, that's besides the point.
Right. That's not a part of this story.
Like the glamour wore off.
Right.
Like after he was in 2 relationships, he was like, wait. They suck too.
Yeah.
And they don't listen.
Right.
I was like, and that was his perspective.
Yeah.
He was like, wait, so these women suck and they're going to tell me to fuck off? Oh, God. No, he literally moved back to Tunisia with his family. To this day, he's still out there and they're in a civil war. Yeah. That's the power of the woman, bro. He's like, I'm going back to civil war.
Yeah.
Because these women here are crazy.
I'm dead. No, it's a catch-22 for real. Like, there's no people men, women, whatever, like have a lot of the same tendencies everywhere, but we're just so much in the confines of what we think of as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because like if you all you've ever seen, the max you've ever seen of a woman is her eyes from a burqa or something like that, and then you go somewhere and it's expanded to something new, you feel like you're missing out on that. But maybe that woman you met with a burqa on was like the perfect woman for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like just because she's wearing less clothes doesn't mean she's more valuable to you or something
100%.
like that.
And it's just the classic case of the grass is always greener.
For sure.
You know, like I even think like I guess when I think of from his perspective, I wouldn't assume that the grass is greener. Like if I was forced, because the way his situation was, he was forced to get married when he was like 15, and then have a kid when he was 16, raise the kid, and then he like escaped the country, and then he was eventually going to bring his family over. But I guess he like literally got to America and was like, this ain't what I thought it was. I'm getting the fuck out. He was only here for like 5 years.
Yeah. A lot of times that's a monetary thing too, realizing how, and that's something I've realized over the last few years, really hanging out with internationals and listening to their lifestyle and what they do wherever they're from. Like I met a guy from, I think he was from Honduras, and just listening to how far your money goes, how much your work equals your lifestyle. In the U.S., how much work you put in does not equal your lifestyle. In other places, it can. In other places, you work really hard, you can live a really good lifestyle. In America, that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, I would say
there's a facade that is the case, but like hard work in the wrong direction does not equal a fruitful United States lifestyle.
The hardest of workers don't make the most money
at all.
I mean, when you think of the hardest type of work would be day-to-day manual labor.
For sure.
And then they're not they're
only
nowhere
like
near
only
the
a
richest
few
people.
construction workers make like good money, but still it's not the trade-off of some like corporate jobs where they sit in the office and get drunk all day and make the same amount of money.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Or more.
And I think and it's funny that you bring that up because I was looking recently, the YouTube overlords have trapped me in an algorithm recently of Southeast Asia cheap properties, essentially. And there's YouTubers who just have gone crazy on that. And there's properties for $300 a month that are equivalent to the most beautiful high-rise you have ever seen in
course.
Florida.
They're
Or in
Airbnbs.
Houston.
But like the Philippines, their Airbnbs be like $40 a night and they be like resorts.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the one I'm looking at was specifically, I guess the blogger that I've been following lately is from Chiang Mai, Thailand. Pays $400 a month to live in a penthouse.
Yeah.
With his own infinity pool
I believe it.
on the top of a fucking building.
I believe
I'm
it.
like, what the
Your money goes so long other places.
$400?
Dude,
What
even
the
we talked about that author Peter. No, not Peter.
You're talking about the not give a fuck?
No, not Munson. The guy before this, the 4-Hour Work Week.
Oh, Tim Ferriss.
Tim Ferriss, who lives in Colombia.
Yeah. Oh,
he
does
talks
he?
yeah, for sure. And he's lived there for a long
Where,
time.
Medellin?
Yeah.
Nice.
And he talks about how much safer he feels there, how much further his money goes. There's an actual enclave of, in particular, white Americans who live in that area, and they want that dangerous facade to be facilitated throughout the U.S. so people don't move down there because it's actually much safer in the U.S. He's like, I've never felt safer on a United States street than I do. And it might be Cartagena.
Yeah.
It might not be Medellin, but regardless, it's in Colombia, and like the way he feels about it. And there's a lot of places like that, bro, that like in our mind, we think it's very dangerous, but the places that are really, like Mexico is the most dangerous place literally on earth. And people go there for vacation every single year.
And I think
it's like proximity or something.
No, I think what it is I feel like if we were to actually go, let's say, to Mexico, find a property in a decent place, I feel like we could build an amazing life at a decent price.
For sure.
And we wouldn't really have to worry about murder. You know, because in theory, like we were just talking about it before the podcast
Where are we
started,
talking?
It would have to be a safer area. I'm not saying like you could just pick a spot and hope to God and right on the border town.
Mexico's one of those places that's like,
because when you think about it, like I would say within 1.5 miles of my house in the past 6 months, there's been 60 murders. Broad daylight, some of them, middle of the street, some of them, and I've never even seen one.
Yeah.
So I would assume
There's
being in a
places like that
country as
everywhere.
big like Mexico,
Yeah.
as big as it is, that's how it is. Like, you could literally be like, oh, yeah. I mean, shit, if you live in El Paso, you could be like, yeah, look, right there in Juarez, Mexico, 40 people got murdered.
I feel you, but in that place in Mexico, I really think it comes down to if you are in trouble, will somebody come to save you? Or are you going to have to defend your own home?
Fair. And
in the U.S., in your apartment where you're currently at, you would not have to defend your own home. You could find somebody that could. You might have to in the meantime, but there will be help coming soon.
And
I feel like there's some areas in Mexico to where the people are just extremely, extremely wealthy, but they can defend their own home. They don't need the local police force to do anything. And they can defend themselves.
That kind of starts a whole different, I guess, conversation as to, would that be the better option? Like if the I guess the norm would be that you got to protect your shit, everybody would have protection mechanisms in place, and nobody would be like unprepared to get fucked because people rely on the cops so much.
People would still be unprepared to get fucked.
Yeah. I mean, less so though, because right now people are so heavily reliant on the cops. When in reality, if somebody kicks your door in and you call the cops the moment the door is touched, you're still fucked.
I feel you, but we don't have in America. We have it in very small regions in reality, like street gangs that supersede the power of local government. That like can't be touched. It's possible, 100%, but even at the small level, they can be touched. Like it really taught me a lot about Mexico, bro. Like when El Chapo's son got took, and they put a hit out on every single police officer they saw and just started murdering them in the open street, and then they gave his son back. I was like, oh no, they actually don't have control. Like if somebody wants to, so for example, if you're that rich American who builds this enclave in the U.S. and these certain forces that run this area of Mexico decide that your house is no longer going to be there, like there's nobody there that's going to come intercede on your behalf, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in the U.S., there's going to be somebody that'll come intercede on your behalf. Even like a racist area. Like the cops will still, even if it's late, long time, they're going to respond to some type of issue that you have, type shit.
Yeah.
I feel like in some of these areas in Mexico, like there can just be like, bro, don't respond to this one. And maybe that's the case in the U.S., you know? Like, bro, don't respond to this one. But like your house is no longer going to be there. Your family is no longer going to be there. Like you are no longer going to be there. And there's nothing that's going to be able to like really defend you, even in the court of law and post.
I think also we might, and specifically in terms of Mexico, and I think of it the same way that you do, like, oh, dangerous, you know, there's a fucking...
Yeah, I'm talking about just numbers.
Yeah. And then it's like if they only got the stories from Chicago.
Right.
You know, but when they came here, they're in Idaho, and they're like, what the fuck?
For sure.
There's literally no people here.
For sure. But
there's
just
got to
like...
be some Mexico like that.
I feel you, but just like when I look at the numbers of like the top murder capitals of the world, everywhere in the world, top 30, Mexico has like 15 slots.
Yeah.
So like as a whole, I'm sure, I agree, there's some places in Mexico, I'm sure, especially if you have money, you could go there and be insulated from the dangers outside of you.
And I think the numbers
I can
really
agree with that for sure.
The numbers for me, the way I would analyze it is how many of the people who are murdered were actively involved in some sort of either
life that
would result in murder, whether it's drug trafficking, whether it's being some part of the police force.
Yeah, and I think in the U.S., there's more of a percentage that you're saying like how many more innocent bystanders get murdered.
Yeah, like if you were to compare like to just random innocent people that had nothing to do with any affiliation to either part of the crime that was going on in the murder, would it be similar across America and Mexico? Like if just uninvolved people?
I think so.
I would
tourists be dying in Mexico, bro, and tourists be dying. Like in Cancun and Cozumel and shit like that. In those type of like real tourist areas, tourists be dying. I think in the U.S., a lot of that gang violence and a lot of the violence like in your area and shit, really a lot of it has been domestic violence though. The mayor came out and said like we have a horrible domestic violence issue, men on women in Houston specifically.
Yeah. I think he might be covering something up, bro. every day I wake up because I get the alerts
He
on my
asked
phone.
people, did you see the video? He asked people to come out publicly and snitch. He went out and begged people. Yes, he's like, if you know somebody that's done something, please, to solve these murders. Like, he's literally going, that means they don't know what's happening,
It's actually gotten crazy.
They don't know what's happening.
I might have to unsubscribe. I think it's Houston Chronicle, one of the Houston newspapers. I put my email in.
It's the only one.
Send me,
Houston Chronicle is the only one.
And they send me, like, weekly updates. And yesterday was 9 shot in 7 different shootings. I'm like, oh, I wonder where these were. A mile from my house, mile and a half from my house.
You live.
But I didn't think it was like that, bro. Like
100%.
so much murder. I've never been around that. I've always been. I'm a suburban kid.
Yeah.
You know, so even when I worked and shit in Miami.
The thing I learned about from Lubbock, though, bro, was that where gentrification happens, there's friction.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because where gentrification happens, there's people that have and there's people that have not on each other. And whenever that's the case, there's going to be friction. Whenever U of
And
H,
the have is trying to take.
like always,
Yeah.
whenever U of H started expanding, bro, crime went crazy. They started gentrifying Third Ward around your area and stuff to try to get like U of H kids more comfortable staying on campus and stuff. Robberies went up, rapes went up, like all that, like break-ins went up, all that stuff went up. Car break-ins all went up, and that happened in Lubbock as well because you can't put a bunch of privileged people around a bunch of people that are starving, bro. You can't ever do it because people will get fucked up.
It's the worst type of privilege because there's people that
Privilege that earned it at least somewhat.
no, like there's privilege that let's say Trey the Truth now is privileged, but he still sees what was
Right.
You know, so
These college kids don't know what the fuck is happening.
They're fresh
bro.
out of college.
Yeah.
They're getting a job in downtown Houston, buying an apartment in Third Ward that they just took out from
That's a
two
good
families.
price. That's a good price, but they don't know why.
It's not even an apartment. What it is a townhome.
Yeah.
Because that's the sign of gentrification. 3-story townhomes with a little rooftop deck.
For sure.
Right next to the projects. And then they're like never interacted
Right next to a
anybody.
sushi spot.
Yeah, right. They've never interacted with anybody out of their community, so then they get.
But they don't know. That's what affordable rent is in the U.S. Affordable rent is on the gentrification line usually because it's moving towards being unaffordable, but then also on the other side being destitute.
Yeah, and it is crazy because I might live on the line.
Exactly.
Right behind me, there's still like
project
style housing. I don't know if it's necessarily
projects, but it's project style housing.
Yeah, like,
bandos.
Like it was built to be project
for sure.
Now I think.
And then on the other side, you have wealth.
Yeah.
Some of the wealthiest
like
people.
Extreme wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's multimillionaires. And I went to go tour some of the apartments behind my spot. Ferrari, Lambo.
But that's why there's no friction around me, bro.
That's what
honestly,
I was
because
just saying
like I'm so insulated in Uptown because like
you're around mostly rich.
All rich.
Yeah.
All rich, bro.
All of it. I've never been nervous about murder before. I just not like luckily it's something I've never had to live with. And when I wake up, it's 9 different shootings. Like that's not even a reasonable number.
It's a population thing though too. When you have 5 million people, 5 million people, and
no, I completely agree.
In a city where there's like, because you got to think most cities be clicked up north, south, west side. You know what I'm saying? And they be 12 minutes apart.
Yeah.
Houston people be clicked up. They'd be 50 minutes away from each other in the same city, but like there's no understanding in Houston because I don't know anything about the north side. Somebody said, Irving earlier actually said we should set up something on the north side. I was like, I don't know what happens up there. I don't trust it up there. The cops are sketchy up there. The people, I have no idea what happened on the north side of Houston. That's an hour and a half away from where I grew up. I was up there this weekend up in like Conroe area. Don't like it. Get me out of here. Let me go back south. I don't like North Houston, bro.
No, and also, I mean, you're 100% right. The numbers are skewed because there's, 3 million people here?
In the Metroplex, like 4.5 now, bro. So it's like crazy.
9 people get shot, that's not a lot at all.
That's not a lot in the numbers, but
I just live too close.
Yeah, you live there where it's happening. Exactly.
I just live too close. If I lived here, I wouldn't.
There's like 3 or 4 spots in Houston where it's happening, and you're one of the 4 hotbeds.
It's like right when I think a Houston rapper just got murdered right outside of a bar that me and Rich just went on a date at. I was like, oh, God. I could have been there. It was at like 6 p.m. or 11 p.m., so not too late.
Nobody getting shot outside of Nobu, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this. And it's not even that, I'm not going to, if somebody wants to start beef with me, unless they're physically a talk, my first reaction is to run. And if somebody thinks that's soft, then you're soft.
You don't know what guns
yeah,
are.
You've never tried to. You've never almost died.
Yeah.
So, my first reaction is to run in general, but the scary thing about it is when there's so much gunfire going off, they shot this guy like 12 times. And if they hit him 12, they shot 40.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
They're not fucking snipers.
They're not John Wick.
Yeah. So I'm like, shit, I could just be minding my own business.
And die.
Dick in hand.
Yeah.
Holding hands with my wife and get shot over
Dick in one hand, her hand in the other.
Yeah, exactly. And
just
I mean,
end up
granted,
dead.
good way to go. But I had nothing to do with any issue and I could get shot. And this is the first time I've ever had to worry about that. Yeah. And I've actually been in scenarios that were very...
And it doesn't even feel like a dangerous city.
Not at all.
At the end of the day, like Houston,
I drive through where all
Murder
of the murder
Row.
happens every day.
Yeah.
And I don't feel it at all.
At all. Like, Turkey Leg Hut is in the mix.
Yeah.
And people are in line outside all day long.
All day. And Turkey Leg Hut is in the mix. But
in
luckily,
the mix, bro.
There seems to be a truce. Don't fuck with Almeida. That's it.
Type shit.
Because it's always like 2 streets over.
Yeah.
But don't walk
That
on
really
Fannin
means
either.
it really means that's where like the police aren't.
Yeah, true.
It's like,
there is a police. The
it's
only
like how
police
prison-
presence that I've ever seen in the city is outside of Turkey Lake.
It's like a prison mentality, like where the cameras aren't, where the shit isn't, like that. You just duck off in those alleys. Like that's just what that means.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. But it's getting crazy, man. There's a lot of. I've never lived in. Like I've always been like it's like if you and I lived, or if I lived here, it would be no worry. Like, oh, there's no worry.
No worry.
20 minutes. They're not
This
driving
is even a
20
dangerous
minutes.
city.
Yeah.
My friends were asking why we're getting patted down. I was like, people in Houston get murdered.
Like
that's
all
why
of the
we.
time. And
I
you
was
were
like,
there-
I'm actually happy people
You were
got
there
patted
on
down.
the day that there was 9 shootings.
Yeah.
So shit. Let me take a quick piss.
I'd be happy that people get patted down because I'm like, we don't live in a safe place. Pat these motherfuckers down, bro. But granted, bro that patted us down got too close to the tip. I didn't understand it. I deadass did not understand it. Like, he would pat you down, like, close into your crotch. Like, for you to have a gun down there, I was sitting there feeling slightly accosted, not understanding what was happening. I'm like, this dude's fucked up. Fuck this dude. I don't know, bro. The other guys were like, did y'all get patted down kind of close? I was like, yeah, I got patted down a little bit closer than I would have liked. Y'all hear us talking so much. We're really talking so much because of all this goddamn cacti we've been drinking. This cacti is pretty nice. It has me feeling pretty good. Like these couple drinks in, I feel pretty good. We've been talking a long time. It's easy. I see why Joe Rogan be drinking. It's so easy to talk. Bro, we've been talking a long time. It's so easy to talk when you start drinking, bro.
Hell yeah.
But,
No, I will say, just quick note on the cacti, because I'm sure this video will include some sort of cacti names. Everybody's expecting it to be solely about that, but we make the rules here.
yeah,
So I'm pretty lit off of 3.
I'm pretty lit,
Like-
too. I feel good.
I would say 4 is going to be the magic number for me.
Yeah.
Like 4 and I don't need any more.
Type.
3 is like
Type
3
shit.
and I'm feeling good, but 4 is where I'm like, shit, I'm actually drunk. But definitely in terms of alcohol collaborations, for specifically where I'm at in my drinking career,
Yeah.
this might be my favorite
Yeah.
because I fuck with seltzers. It sits so light.
Yeah,
Like when I drink 3 IPAs, I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, dude. My night's
Yeah.
over. Like I feel
Like
my
I
stomach's
need a
heavy and
nap.
shit.
Feels like I ate a
yeah,
steak.
I'm energetic, and that's honestly, I will bring this up now. That's what I like about this pecan pie. This pecan pie, like I'm not usually a sativa smoker, but somebody told me the other day also, they're like sativa, like alcohol brings out or it accentuates whatever drug you're taking or whatever thing that's with it. I never thought of it like that for real. Maybe that's obvious, but I never thought about it like if I have a sativa and I drink, it'll boost the energy that the sativa has. I'm thinking like the
I
mix
guess I never
of
thought about it in cannabis form.
like exactly the fact that there's multiple strains of cannabis, so the mix of alcohol and the different strains will always be different.
Yeah. definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. I just thought about that as an interesting kind of tidbit.
I would say, yeah, no, I agree. And I would say also overall, I had very low expectations for the Cacti.
Oh, for real?
I thought they were just, Travis Scott riding the hype wave, going to throw some shit out there.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to lie. Some of his shoes are ugly as fuck.
Yeah, some of his shoes are ugly as shit.
But would I wear them? Maybe. Maybe if I get them at retail. Definitely not paying over retail. But if some of his ugly shoes and I got them and I rocked them, I'd rock them for the stunt, especially in Houston.
Just for the flex type shit?
Yeah. And so I kind of expected for it to be that type of product, the Cacti. I thought it'd be like, would I drink this on the regular? Nah. But is it good? But it's actually very good, and I can actually see myself drinking it on the regular.
I could see myself drinking it.
Because I'm a man of efficiency. If I'm going to go and pay $5 for a White Claw at a bar, I would rather pay $5.50 for the Cacti.
Exactly, and get twice as drunk.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
So it's the only reason why I began to like IPAs.
I understand.
Because I was never a big IPA drinker, but when you go to a bar and every beer is $7, you're like, shit, I might as well get the one with 9% alcohol.
You trying to go to Prospect on Wednesday, bro? That actually reminded me how much I enjoy Prospect. That shit's fun, bro.
I'd be down. I need to get some wings. I haven't had wings in
and it's so reasonably priced.
Well, you went on the night that it was regular price.
But still, even for like a Friday night,
that's what I was gonna
say. We spent like $21 for one person. There was no cover fee or anything like that. Like it
crazy. Was it swole?
Oh, crazy!
I bet.
Crazy. We beat the line because the line started accumulating, but they weren't rejecting people. I guess with this new laws and shit, like they weren't rejecting anybody, bro.
Choice. Good for them because they got fucked when COVID came. We went there and the COVID police were there fucking sounding alarms and shit.
It was packed. Like the line would go from like the back patio where like the extension, all the way to the door, like 40 people deep, and it would be gone in like 8 minutes. That means they're letting motherfuckers in because not that many people leaving.
You know me, I'm not the type to immediately ascribe any intent towards race, but they were coming after
black-owned restaurants, bro. 100%. They always do.
Bro. I went to all of the restaurants in Houston for the entire COVID time, and I never saw COVID police except at Prospect. That was the only time, and that pissed me off. I was like, are you kidding me? They're trying to shut down.
And they were tough on them, bro. Like, they would be sitting in the restaurant, like, walking around.
And they had the little fucking...
And then I went to fucking Washington. I went to Washington, and, like, at the more white established, same style bars.
Yeah, same shit.
And people are just standing there open, like, fine, titties and face out.
Nah, that shit. I remember... we were definitely there. I don't think I've ever been to Prospect without you. And that shit pissed me off, bro. Saying COVID police... Shit, just let everybody have a good time, man. We know the virus is serious, but I'm glad now Prospect is back to thriving because if there was any singular moment that made me realize, like, shit, I fuck with this city, it was going to Prospect. I remember it was with me, you, Cody, and I think Josh. And I think just Josh. And then I think the second time SB came, I remember.
Patricia came too.
Did she?
Patricia came like one of the times.
She came once. She met Josh there once.
Yeah.
I think she's only been once. Maybe
she's only been like once. No, it's been like once.
Oh, no, she came the second time.
Oh, and the line was too long.
I think Nigeria New Year. So the line was fucking down the street and we couldn't get in. So that was the only time. But yeah, Prospect is a fucking vibe.
Whenever I have the sativas, I balance it out with the indicas a lot of times. So I got some of this Grunts in there. Grunt's my ideal strain, bro, but the ounce price kind of steep. But I'm thinking about buying an ounce if we really come up soon. Like with the Stimmy, either the Stimmy Turner or the tax return. Yeah, I might come up on the ounce because this is like my ideal smoke for real.
Brad on them tax returns is a guru though.
I'm telling you, bro. It doesn't even make sense to do it yourself. It doesn't even financially make sense to do it yourself.
No, it financially
does not make sense, bro. He's crazy with them.
I'd be losing out on a solid amount of money. And the sad thing is I could double it. But Rish, I mean, she's so paranoid about her money. She doesn't even want to file. Because if we filed together, it would double everything.
For real? Like it's bro. He's a guru when he does it like that. Like he has it done in a day or so.
Yeah. So I mean, it is. I guess I understand my wife's perspective because her whole family's like that because they came from Cuba, where they're like, yeah, file your taxes, and then they steal all your fucking money. So they're all super paranoid. So I don't press her. That's yeah. I mean, as you know,
I trust Brad though.
yeah, like that's not my thing. But he's
and it's in his best.
He keeps telling me, he's like, bro, you're leaving like $3,000 on the table. What are you doing? I'm like, I agree. That's the thing. I agree.
Nah, bro. Like, as we grow as business owners and as we expand and shit like that, like, it'll be really possible. And, dude, I've been seeing we got some cool shit coming up. For real. I'm excited about this travel show. Like, we got to get this Texas stuff rolling. We're going to soon do Oklahoma and Austin, bro, since we haven't gotten any response. So we'll be in Oklahoma and Austin type shit.
100%.
Like, we just gotta get.
Austin
we
could
get
even
dates.
lead into Oklahoma.
We gotta get these dates just set, and we can.
I mean, Oklahoma's
do both.
Really whenever shit.
Whenever.
The only thing we got to book is Airbnb because I'm thinking if we do them, we should do it back to back.
100%. No, I'm saying
up,
like one and together.
Yeah, like drive up Austin.
Yeah,
hit where we got to hit.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe that would be quick.
Quick. That's a day.
Like a day.
Yeah.
Spend a day.
Yeah.
And then Oklahoma would be 3-4 more hours.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna do that here soon. So guys, check in for that. We're gonna be having an episode about that here soon, about just like traveling around and finding out the best cannabis, bro. I'm excited about that shit.
I agree. And shit, one last topic because we kind of touched on it before the podcast.
Give me a second, because I'm gonna go plug in the camera.
Oh, good call. Gotta say, Cacti and podcasting, solid move. It's just the perfect amount of drunk, but sober enough. So shout out Travis Scott, as I know he is sitting there watching this entire podcast, word by word, for making a good product or being a participant in a good product, because it is with Anheuser-Busch, the biggest alcohol company of all time. So well executed. You got to have a sales pitch and the agave and the 7%. Good mixture. 100% premium blue agave from Mexico. Not even the 94% premium. It's 100%. Shit. This is legit.
You getting in this solo video feel?
I've never done a solo video in my entire life.
You should do it, bro. It's actually
I should.
It's a good way to get some stress off. I go on there and rant like Bill Burr.
Yeah, I need to start doing something like that, bro. With the shrooms that I took, we didn't even talk about that.
You liked it?
I got blasted, bro.
See, yeah, that's what you were talking about. Like how the same like plant, like the same batch can get you blasted. Like those are good ass price.
Yeah.
For like the amount of blast you said
Like
you got. Shit.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I guess it was. I think it also might have been the most perfectly timed trip I've ever had. Because most of the time I'm just like, I have nothing better to do. Let's trip.
Yeah.
This time I was like, fuck, I'm stressed. Got to figure out the right path.
Type shit.
Let me meditate on my own shit. And it's also the first time I've ever tripped by myself. I always trip with Rish or trip with my friends.
It's
or
valuable,
trip with somebody
bro.
else.
We've talked about that before, bro. It's valuable.
Just being solo and not having to worry about somebody else
for
like,
sure
going too deep,
not tripping out too bad.
It allowed me to fully encompass the trip, I guess. And fuck, dude, it helped a lot because it's just an accumulation of stress. I don't have any stress coping mechanisms in my life, like consistent ones that I'm good at.
Yeah, it's an issue with smoking weed. Is that like the weed can really realistically hide you or insulate you from like the stress you really should be feeling.
Yeah.
But you still think about it and you still feel that stress, but like the weed takes it off your mind.
And then every now and then you hit that
get rid of it. Exactly.
You hit that strain that doubles the stress.
Or that taps it in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you'll have a whole week of indica and then all of a sudden you hit the wrong sativa and you're like, fuck, I got all these bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. Damn it. But I'm also too high to get off the couch.
For sure.
That's what I was telling you earlier. Whatever strain it is that we had recently, that's what the effect it gives me. I'm too high to want to do anything, but mentally I know I need to do so much.
Shit.
And that's the worst high.
That's the worst.
Because you're sitting there like, fuck, I need to quit weed. This shit, I shouldn't have started my day. And that's how it ends up. But overall, I mean.
For me, I've been like, I booby trap myself, if you will, into like having to do the next thing. So recently I've been smoking, but after that smoke, so honestly, I've been shooting videos on my personal channel, GP's Free Game or whatever, in the morning. So my morning session is that video. You know, so no matter what, with that opening session,
like accomplishing.
I have something done for the day.
Yeah.
And then I'll use that session, and then I like to smoke before I work out. So I'll use that session as a pre-workout and a first video. So 2 things accomplished in one session, and then I'll go work out, and then my energy's up. And then you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to kind of trick myself into being productive into the next thing already.
And I think if there is any benefit to living in a legal state, which obviously there's many, but I would say the main one specifically is everyone's like, oh, why would I move to a legal state? I can get weed whenever, is the consistency.
Yeah.
If I were to find a strain that made me feel like I wanted to feel, and I was able to smoke that daily rather than let's see what the bag is pulling in today, and then hitting it and being like, fuck, this isn't the shit I want. And then also still loving to be high, so smoking it every day. You know, so that I think the legal state is.
On my live, I was talking about the beauty of that with CBG, CBD, CBN, and Delta 8 is having that option. All right, Delta 8 is what's appropriate for me right now. Delta 9 is what's appropriate for me right now. CBD with the Delta 9 mixture is what's appropriate for me right now. That is a beautiful thing to be able to have those options, which is what's opening up. So for people to say that strain or that product doesn't get you as high as possible,
that's not.
Therefore, it's useless. Yeah. Therefore, it's useless is a crazy thing.
Yeah,
and so many people come in the comments and be like, "That doesn't get you as high as you possibly could be. Why would you use that? What?
Why do you always need to be as high?"
Yeah.
And that also brings up a good point into something I was. I guess I realized last time I was in California that is kind of lacking in their market. Granted, there is the occasional CBD shop, very rare, but everything is so THC driven that everything is just meant to get you as high as you possibly can, that you kind of miss out on I don't need to always be as high as I possibly can be.
Right, and there's cannabinoids that aren't meant to get me high as possible all the time, but are still useful.
Yeah, exactly. If you were to wake up with a majority CBD joint, but then go to sleep with a more majority CBN or CBD.
Or even Delta 9 at that point. Yeah. Exactly.
But so I think so there is some drawbacks that I've found just personally, but I also haven't been. Everything is online in terms of CBD. So if you really wanted to experiment with cannabinoids, you have the ability. But I guess the market is driven by how high people get. Yeah. And I think that's all markets now that I think about it.
How
just
lit people get.
The reason why we love this seltzer so much because it's 7%.
Yeah.
Same thing. The reason why people put up with the shitty taste of tequila or whiskey or whatever.
Because it gets you fucked up.
Because it gets you fucked up.
Exactly. It helps you forget your problems faster.
Yeah.
It helps bury your problems a little bit further or whatever. But that's kind of what my point is a lot of times I make with the Delta 9 is that even when I got sold some of the flower, they were like, the strongest one is this. The strongest mean what's going to give me the highest? Because that can mean sativa. That can mean sativa hybrid. That can mean an effect that I'm not accustomed to, but that just means that it's going to get you fucked up the most. Is that why I'm doing this? Is that why I want this product? And these are things I have to think about, you know? And I talked about how clutch it is when you get a cheap product, or the cheapest option is your favorite. You know, for example, for the grunt strain that I got, the cheapest strain that I got, it was the cheapest strain he had offered, but it was also my favorite, which is the ideal situation.
100%. And yeah, that's just shit. I was going to say something, but now I completely forgot.
Which one is your favorite? Which cacti is your favorite?
The cacti of my favorite. I would surprisingly say strawberry. Most likely, and then pineapple, and then lime, which is nowhere near. I might have expected the exact opposite. I might have expected lime, pineapple, strawberry.
Yeah.
But it seems that the strawberry seems to be the most well-executed flavor. Pineapple following a close second, still delicious, and the lime being my least favorite, which is maybe the first ever.
We'll have to do a full review of the pecan pie when we're not drinking.
Yeah.
To be honest, I have a muddied review of that. I have smoked it a lot. It is more leaning on the sativa side. So if anybody is interested in a sativa leaning Delta 8 THC flower, that pecan pie is for you.
Yeah,
but it has that sweet taste as well.
We are an hour and a half almost to the dot in on this podcast. And if this isn't a snippet and you're still listening and you haven't hit the subscribe button, you haven't inquired about Legally Lifted product, the best product in the Delta 8 game,
For sure.
then you need to inquire. And you need to hit that subscribe button.
And guys, if you've made it this far and you hit us up on Legally Lifted and you're the first person to hit us up, we'll give you a couple free grams of pecan pie or rocket fuel, your choice.
Yeah, we'll give
But hit us up because if you've made it this far into the video, you're a real fan. First person to hit us up. I've been doing this in my personal videos sometimes, and
100%.
And sometimes people make it. Sometimes we literally get no response. Like I don't expect to get any response from this fucking an hour and 30 minutes in. I really don't. That's kind of why I'm doing it. I'm betting on the fact that no one has made it this far. But if you have made it this far, hit us up, and we got you on a couple free grams.
100%. I mean, shit, maybe 2 free edibles. We'll give you your choice. You could choose between either of our strains or 2 edibles.
We're only the first person, so hit us up first. Even, I swear to God, if this is 6 months in the future and you're watching this video, hit us up. You might be the first person.
You could.
You could be the first person. It's happened before.
Especially if we've been banned already 3 times. So
Exactly.
it's like the second channel.
Who knows what channel this is on? Like, you could be on a myriad of channels and be seeing this. But if you've watched the full video and gotten to this point, I applaud you.
You deserve some free shit.
You deserve some free fucking shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. So hit us up, Legally Lifted TX on Instagram, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Legally, and then we got CBD Hemp Library on Instagram as well. Or
if you need to, or Twitter, or LinkedIn.
Just hit us up somewhere and say, hey, am I still the first? And if you are, we'll say, yeah, you are.
It happens to be, yes, you are, actually.
According to my vast calculations, you are the first and you deserve some free shit. So we will give you some free shit, but
as long as you're 21.
All in all, if this video is doing well, shout out to Travis Scott for giving us the views and the cacti.
It's lit.
It works. I mean,
straight up.
This is apparently GP's the Travis Scott ad-lib box. But
straight up.
He does
Travis Scott
is
just be saying random shit, bro. He just be saying anything. He's got
legendary ad-libs. Did you I don't know what era this was in, but did you ever see those cartoons that they used to make about Lil Wayne and Birdman and Young Jeezy? It was like, Jeezy, it's my ad-lib box, man, and Birdman. Did you ever see that?
You talking about like a cartoon?
Yeah, it was a cartoon.
Like a Short but Shorty?
Short, that's it.
That's what you talking about?
Yes.
I eat the yellow crayons and the yellow taste the best. Of course I saw that, bro. Like,
I just thought I'm old, so I don't know.
Waka! And they just have like Walker headbanging in that hoe type shit. No, I remember.
This is my ad-lib box, man. Birdman's like, what's the ad-lib box? Like, yeah. Travis Scott has mastered. He has his ad-lib box in gold casing because his ad-libs are always on point. But
dude, he be getting air now, too. He be snowboarding and shit like crazy. And I'm like, he snowboards with Shaun White. If you snowboard with Shaun White and you don't catch air, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, shout out to him for snowboarding.
That's live as fuck, bro. I was talking to Nicole. I was actually like dumbfounded how nothing he does is remotely conventional. But it's all cool. I was looking at his website. I was like, I've never seen a website this beautifully ugly.
It might be
like there's nothing happening here.
He's a suburban kid.
Maybe so.
The mix, like it plays into it. He's like, wait, so all of my white friends go snowboarding? Why can't I go snowboarding? Because it's like seeing people experience it makes you realize you can also do this shit.
He's so unconventional, though, bro. But it works. His website has no value. Nothing. You enter your email and nothing happens. It provides literally. It only steals information. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, his website only steals information. It provides no value.
And I think he does a different website for damn near every drop. Like I remember when I was trying to cop his desert shit. When it came.
You remember how ugly that shit was, bro?
It was horrible.
You're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
I'm willing to make money on terrible things. So I tried to get some. And I remember it came with a pair of socks, a pair of shoes.
Sand,
and a bag of sand.
Yeah.
I'm like, I respect
That's the most genius fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
You're selling these people sand for $2,000. God, I love every moment of it.
Bro,
I mean, I guess he's selling it for $200.
It's like your marketing is unbelievable. How he's peddling essentially bullshit most of the time.
The weird thing is, he doesn't do any marketing. That's what I'm saying. Like, he created the wave, and then he's just riding it. Like, you never hear him doing interviews. You never hear him doing promo. You never hear him saying, I'm good.
He's
never
just
hear him saying,
cool,
I'm about
bro.
to drop some
it's
shit.
literally just the value of cool. Like, Travis Scott is cool. Like, I was up at 11 o'clock getting alcohol, 7% alcohol this morning because Travis Scott's cool.
So some would say Travis Scott drove us into alcoholism.
You could say it. It's possible.
No, but I would say he may be the first example of what could happen if you build the Houston area fan base to an extreme extent and then let it flood across the nation. Because he built the 3 million, I mean, of the 3 million, let's say 500,000 are a fan of his in the city, which I didn't even really know knew people fucked with Travis Scott so heavy till I moved to Houston. And then when I would tell people... That's
crazy. I met somebody last week that was a diehard E40 fan.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I said...
That's even more rare.
They said everybody that grew up where we are were all E40 fans. Like, we grew up on his shit. I said, what? I have to tell all my friends about y'all.
E40.
E40? Like, I didn't realize he had fans.
I didn't either. But I guess he has to.
He has to.
Because he's courtside at every Golden State game. He's getting money somewhere.
E40 is like the godfather of Bay Area rap. Like, he's so rich. Yeah. He has so much money. But at the same time, you don't know how he's so rich.
It's that way.
Because he has a whole generation of kids that love him.
20 years from now, Travis Scott could be the way richer E40. Like, damn, how did he get so rich? Oh, you don't understand. He has 2 million people that'll buy every single
for
thing
sure, because eventually, like, his music will be irrelevant. Yeah, but he'll still have the brand
and the investments.
Yeah,
you know, like
the money,
like
and their initial money.
E40's not making money off of his album drops or his record sales.
But he might be though. Actually,
maybe some. I don't think he's losing money, but
I think he's like selling out Bay Area stadiums.
Oh yeah, probably. His primary source of income is probably through.
And the Bay Area is so big that if you just have, because you have to think about it, where if you have like 5,000 just 5,000 diehard fans that are downloading, buying all your merch, doing all that shit, you can become a multimillionaire. 5,000 people? Yeah. And there's so many people in the area, in Bay Area.
I've never been. Have you ever been up like North Cali? I've only been, LA's the most north of, actually Mammoth Mountain's the most north I've ever gotten. But I've never been to like San Francisco
I've never
City.
been there.
That's where Bay Area is.
San Francisco and Oakland.
San Francisco and
Oakland. San Francisco, Oakland, that's the Bay Area.
Yeah, Oakland. That's probably where E40's from, Oakland, right?
I think it's
San Fran? Before it was the most expensive city in the world?
No, it's changed like really quickly. Because Oakland they say Oakland is like crazy expensive. Like over on the other side of the bridge.
I mean, all of Cali.
Because like on the edge of the bridge right there is like crazy tax.
Yeah, so E40, he's like he could be an example of what Travis Scott is about minus 10x. Like, Travis Scott's going to be 10 times richer.
Yeah, because he'll get richer younger.
Yeah, he already is.
That's the thing.
Yeah, he already is. He's what, 28, 30?
You're saying richer than E40?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Bro, he had a baby with Kylie Jenner. On alimony alone.
He might be.
If he were to drop all of his career and say, look, I need alimony.
But got married.
I think at least child support. So child support. On child support alone, he's looking at $1 million a month.
He wouldn't get child support.
Now.
Too rich.
Now, but I'm saying if he was broke and got a Kylie Jenner pregnant, he's looking at $1 million a month. She's a billionaire.
Yeah.
$1 million a month is reasonable.
It's reasonable.
When the person has a billy.
Yeah.
Or 900 milli, whatever.
But he's moved into alcohol too. I think when you move into alcohol, you've moved in that upper echelon, bro.
Oh, he's upper echelon for sure.
I'm saying E40. E40's moved into alcohol. I think he's one of those people that's richer than we would think.
Yeah, I would say he's liquid tens of millions. Maybe 10 to 20.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
But I would say Travis Scott is on pace to be hundreds of millions.
Liquid.
Now.
Yeah.
And he's only 28, and then E40's like 50.
And he doesn't seem like he spends exorbitant amounts of money.
He doesn't.
He has nice chains and shit, but that's not like even that crazy.
Every single thing he puts on, he gets paid to wear.
And it's his brand most of the time.
Yeah, and I'm sure, you can hire the best nutritionist in the world all year round to cook for you, and that's only costing you $60,000. which is nothing to him.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm sure he's a rich
Travis Scott
motherfucker.
seems to be killing it because he also grew up. I mean, it's likely around wealth.
Yeah, somewhat.
Richer than
at least middle class.
Yeah,
he's
middle
definitely
class,
not.
Yeah.
He's definitely not in the bottoms.
Yeah, so I would say that at least maybe gave him a predisposition to.
He got to see it.
Yeah, he got to see what the other side is.
100%.
You know?
There's so much power in that.
Yeah,
bro.
like knowing
Even if-
that that's possible and shit. And then
Even
knowing
if
that
that's not what you do, being able to see it, there's a lot of power in seeing
and
wealth.
being around it and not having to be like, shit, I can only be at the corner store for 3 minutes because the ops might show up and I could get murdered.
I've been biking a lot, bro, and I biked through River Oaks today, and some of the houses I see
River Oaks is crazy.
It's so unbelievable that it's like inspiration. But if you're biking out of the hood, you're not biking into River Oaks. You know what I mean? I'm biking out of Uptown. Today I biked to Discovery Green.
Well, in Third Ward, you might be able to now. Very recently, though.
Maybe.
You could go over to Rice.
Yeah.
I've seen them do it.
For sure.
I've seen giant. I love to see it, too. I remember I was telling Rich, I love seeing this. Like, there's this crazy bike culture ATV in the middle of the street, not giving a fuck.
Well, they meet here at Randall's.
Yeah.
I'm about to start joining it.
Yeah, so
For real.
I remember me and Rich going to fucking over in Rice there's a chicken kitchen over there at Rice University. So we were pulling up and there was like a 70 to 80 ATVs fucking popping wheelies. There was this one, like they would pop a wheelie, it would land, and then the person behind them would be popping a wheelie, and the guy popping wheelie would jump off of the ATV, sprint up to the other one that was just in a wheelie, and they would change it. And Rish is tripping, and they're in the
Why?
Because she's like, oh my God, this is so dangerous, so dangerous. I was like,
What?
I don't know.
You guys do this all the time.
And I was like, this is actually epic because they were in the richest part of Rice, like right outside the university. I'm like, you got to imagine what these rich ass people are thinking. They're terrified. And that's hilarious.
Hopefully they think it's cool, but yeah, more than likely they're terrified.
Bro, you got it. I mean, they're about 60 deep.
Yeah.
Fucking revving, popping wheelies, jumping off their bikes, screaming and shit. I was loving every moment of it.
Yeah.
But it's, that most likely by Rice University. It was really right on the outside of it. So there's all the mansions, just ridiculous houses, like compounds, really.
And then when you go to River Oaks, bro, it's like unbelievable.
Yeah, River Oaks is more Bentleys everywhere you look type
But
of wealth.
it's all like, yeah, and the compounds are like, oh no, that's a different size.
And you could barely see it. You're like,
yeah, it's like deep off the street.
It's like in a gate, like at least in Rice, like you're right.
That's
off
the cool
the
thing
street.
about the bike though, bro. Like you can see more, and it's
Yeah.
more acceptable to be like,
like
looking all up and in that shit, you know. And so I be riding through that area just for inspiration, bro.
Yeah, I would say this is where the people who live by Rice have probably lived there for a long time. River Oaks
They've lived there forever.
Yeah, River Oaks is now like it's like wealthy is the standard.
It was slave owners, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the level of wealth you have to live in there.
You got to be in the tens of
millions,
for it
exactly.
To be reasonable. Is there people that aren't tens of millionaires? Like you technically live very close to tens of millionaires. I mean,
bro, not as close as, but there's.
I mean, I would
because
say
for them,
you at least live
they
close to
literally
where they
have.
frequent.
But I'm saying they literally have like Briar Oaks or whatever it's called, like on the fringe where people that are millionaires live. River Oaks is such an insulated area that when you say close, like you have to live inside that specific zip code. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is, I don't even know what the zip code is, but whatever those houses are, I guarantee you they have that shit gerrymandered as fuck to where like you're close to touching hundreds of millions if you're living in that shit.
Yeah, or for it to be reasonably affordable because there's people over leveraging.
No, I'm telling you that like that's the type of place they're looking into your history before you move in there.
Oh, yeah,
and they're not just letting you move into that zip code. Yeah. The Briar Oaks area, I agree. There's hella people that are stretching their income to live in that area. But in River Oaks, like your family history is
like
mattering.
Right outside of Amarino, like right on that other side.
No.
So where?
No,
where
Downmore to where every single house is fenced in.
I don't know if I've ever driven.
So
to it. I'm trying to
across from it's across from Lamar High School. It's along San Felipe. On both sides of there's a row of houses where every single house is fenced in on both sides of the street, and it only lasts for about 3 blocks. There's very few houses, bro.
Oh, so it's
because like it's a lot of wealth around it.
So it's like a
Uptown,
nice little quick neighborhood of like 30 families.
Probably exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That are all living on multiple acres
like,
in the
knows
middle of
each
the
other.
city. Bro, they're close to hundreds of millionaires.
It's like that place in Dallas that I went to. It's it's gonna piss. Highland Oaks, Highland Park.
Highland Park.
It's
Highland Park.
like
Yeah.
where it's like you pretty much got to be rich white.
Exactly,
oil
and like
magnate to even
former
consider living there.
Former cowboys live there.
Yeah.
Like oil tycoons live there, but like mostly in Houston, but still up there. Some big business owners live there, construction, big business people. But like exactly.
And they got their own police force. That was
exactly.
the first I'd ever seen.
Ropo.
River Oaks has
River
one
Oaks
too?
police.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Bro, it's the exact same thing, but honestly richer because the oil has just been, the money's just been coming in for so long.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like these are people that have been rich for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
You didn't get that. More than likely, you didn't get that rich in one generation.
Solid 90% at least.
Exactly.
I mean, especially in the very concentrated 30 families, you've been that rich for hundreds of years.
Bro, you have acres in the most prestigious and most expensive area of the state of Texas.
I will
acres.
say though, I went to school. I studied a whole lot of like things like gentrification and stuff like that. And being that I was always a suburban kid, I never really saw it. But being where I live now, it's like, oh, I get why they would be pissed off too. It's like, wait, you're trying to kick me out of the house I've owned for 50 years?
Yeah.
Because you want to build an ugly 3-story townhouse with no windows, or maybe too many windows. There's never an in between. It's always like there's way too many windows on that house. There is no windows on that house. Why would they build that shit? Never like, oh, there's the right amount of natural light in that household. But besides the point, I get it now, and that's what I always tell Rich. Like when we drive around, she's like, who would buy that house? It's $500,000, and look right next door. It looks like 70 people are living in that house.
People are rich.
No, I think it's people that have never experienced that. Like people like me, if I were to choose to buy a home in Houston, I'm
like where you live now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like your apartment. Yeah.
2 streets down, I could have bought a townhome and been like, damn, that shit is nice as fuck, brand new build, why not? And then you move in, you're like, oh, I just had to kick 7 families out of this lot.
Yeah, I just saw a guy get stabbed on the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a whole lot of issues going on here that I wasn't prepared for.
Right.
Really, the only criminals in that are the developers and realtors. Because you got to lie to the people. There's literally houses in the worst part of 3rd Ward right next to a house that never been renovated.
That's how it be,
and
bro.
they're selling them for 500 racks.
They can't find like the rights to the house to like get it or whatever, but there's like a nice ass house right next door.
It's always a 3-story townhouse.
Yeah,
always. 3 of
always.
them. They put one lot and get 2 to 3 3-story.
Did you feel safer because the garage is under you,
and you're gonna
where
have
like
other
you're
rich
insulated
people immediately
like,
next to you?
Because you can make it a bunch of them in tight spaces.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. Like there'll be 3 here, 3 there, with a driveway in the middle and a garage, and just right in the middle of the hood. You're like, holy shit. I wouldn't do that, but these people come from San Francisco. They see a beautiful house for 1/10 of the price of what they'd pay.
They're like $250,000 for that townhome. What the fuck? They're used to 1.3 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then they move in, and I see it because you literally see them out. Like they don't fit in at all in the surrounding community. They're the typical hipster that you'd expect, big glasses, most likely white. And you're just like, God, I would not want to walk my dog on the same street that you're currently walking your dog on, sir.
But in about 10 years, the whole area will be fine.
I would say 20, because there's a lot left of.
I think you'd be surprised, bro. I think you'd be surprised the power that police force has, bro.
Yeah. But I also feel like it's
some of these gentrified areas, they be arresting all of the people.
Specifically where I'm at, there's also a thriving minority community. So it's not like everybody's just walking around broke. It's like there's actually a thriving community. So you got to imagine you're the San
But there's
Francisco.
more and more rich black people also in your area.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Maybe the most I've ever seen. Really, every single time I see something that's like, damn, that guy's rich, it's almost always a black person.
For sure, bro.
And I don't know if that's racist to say, but
I don't know, but like in your area, it makes sense though,
is it racist of me to, when I see a Ferrari or a Lambo or a Rolls Royce, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a black guy driving that. Is that racist?
No, that's that's one of the cool racist things, That's like one of those things that says like you can't really complain about that. Like if you're assuming that the people around you that are rich as a black person. Like, that's a cool thing. In Houston, though, when I agree. When I see a Rolls Royce truck, like, there's a good part of me that's like, there's a black man driving that hoe.
Yeah, or an Arab.
Like for sure. For sure. But it's not just like there's no way there's only a white person driving that car.
I don't know if I've actually ever seen a white person driving a Lambo truck. And I see an abnormal amount of them here.
Bro, a lot. I be in this hoe. God.
And
damn,
Italians,
Arabs
bro.
making money, bro. These Arabs are making unbelievable amounts of money. You go to the hookah bar, the lineup of cars outside the hookah bar, I mean, what? Bro. These dudes, what businesses are they running? These dudes all have some souped up Mercedes, Lambo, fucking BMWs, all types of shit.
Yeah, no, hell yeah. I mean, Houston might be the hotbed of the biggest hotbed of multicultural wealth I've ever seen.
It's crazy, dude. Like, everybody can get rich. It doesn't matter what race you are. You go
and everybody in front of a Hanover right here. Everybody, like I'm saying, like in terms of every race, every race,
rich people
of every race. There's rich Mexicans. There's rich blacks. There's rich whites. There's rich Hispanics of all different.
Yeah, there's
Arabs,
rich. Yeah,
Chinese,
you
Asian.
just get rich.
Like there's the whole Chinatown. There's even a Koreatown I didn't know about till I found out about it like last week over by Cyprus.
Cyprus.
There's like this little enclave. I'd never been, but I was looking for like the best fried chicken in the city the other day because I was just bored and I'm like, I want some fucking crazy fried chicken. And for some reason, they all take me to. There's like a little Koreatown in Cyprus, and they're like,
out by me. There's a huge Indian population. Like there's a lot of Indian supermarkets and stuff. Like down, like Southwest Houston and like Sugarland area. There's a huge Indian population. Like and they're all like a lot of them are rich. Like you get rich in any race. It doesn't
even
literally
in South
matter.
Florida, like there is every race, but there's not thriving every subgroup you could say because it's even more than races. It's like everybody has an opportunity to thrive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I guess it's also suburban versus being
inner city.
The most diverse inner city of all time. Because I'm sure we go to Oklahoma City, it's not quite the same.
No, anywhere else.
Yeah,
Houston is the most diverse city in America. And U of H is the most diverse college in America. Like, those are, like, facts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What we got? You want any cantaloupe or honeydew?
I'm probably pretty solid for right now. I'm going
to get some afterwards. Appreciate it. We've been talking a minute. I'm already knowing.
Hell yeah. We actually have the time. It's been 2 hours.
2 hours?
Damn near.
Shit, we on our Joe Rogan shit.
I see how it's done now.
I'm glad I deleted a lot of the videos before this for us to have, like, because I deleted like 7 videos before this video. We needed it. Because we needed it. I see how it's done too. Just get a little bit lit. I'd talk for a minute. I mean, I naturally already talk. We haven't stopped talking. Like, I don't know if y'all think that we've edited this video, but in this entire time that we've been talking.
With no plan.
We have with no plan other than the cacti and the pecan pie.
Yeah, and the Tennessee killing cake, which we talked about for 5 minutes.
Which we talked about like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, literally no plan. But this is great. If you guys are still here at this point, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. And if this is not a snippet, we already mentioned it already in this video, but we didn't expect to go for another 30 minutes. We will give you some free shit if you are the first person to DM us or message us somewhere.
I'm dead.
Just hit us up and just say, hey, my first. And if you are, we will figure out what type of free shit to give you, but it would be of your choice because we are men of the people.
And men of our word.
Exactly. So, shit, I will say, the cottonmouth is kind of settling.
The cacti feel nice, though.
It might be, in terms of efficiency, my favorite seltzer.
I'm lit 3 in, bro. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, no, I feel great.
I don't drink a ton. I'm lit 3 in.
Yeah, I barely drink. But I've also eaten a lot today, and I've hydrated very well because I knew this day was coming. I literally woke up, and the first thing I did was text you like, oh, shit, the Travis Scott shit dropped.
And I went and found it immediately. Yeah. I was like, I'm not playing. Dude, I asked the dude how much for the poster. I don't think you understand how tempted I was to grab the poster.
What did he say?
Huh?
Then
I gotta put it up to something. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
good.
He had a box full of posters. I swear, bro. I was like, dude, that is Because that's the resale value,
That's
isn't the
what it
poster.
is,
But
yeah.
people were stealing them bitches off the Walmart, the fucking McDonald's windows and shit.
Yeah.
You remember? Like, I was like, how much for the poster? And I was dead ass. I was like, I'll buy the poster from you right now.
That is.
I would buy that poster for like $50, bro.
What was it, like a stand-up? Like
No.
Travis Scott?
No, it was just on his website, you know, he has the setting of like the cacti and shit like
I
that.
haven't
And
seen
like,
any of it.
oh, on his website, he has like but his website's actually so fucking dope just because the can is like sitting in the middle and it's like you can rotate it like that. And
I
it's
think he
rotating
sets up a
and
new website for all of his drops.
everything.
Like it's never the same website. Like
That's what I'm saying.
I remember one of them
Unconventional.
was like a Nintendo 64 type website where it's like you had to go through the menu. And I think that was the one where he sold the sand. God. Part of me wants to be like, that's bullshit. But a part of me wants to be like, if I could sell sand for $200.
That stopped for sure.
Perfect timing because I just checked it 2 seconds ago. Yeah. So I think we're solid then.
All right.